Chloe, welcome to my channel. I am so excited. This came in the mail today. It is my bargain bead box for the month of June 2025, and it is called Tranquil Tides Collection. And just look at this. I'm going to start my whole video by saying what I always say. If you make jewelry, I do not know how you could live without this box. This is a retail value of almost $100 this month, over $90, and there were 20 items in the box that were planned, but because of a thing with one of the vendors that Bargain Bead Box uses, there are even 2 bonus items. So you're getting a total of 22 items this month, and it is packed with gorgeous pressed glass, gemstones, findings. I love everything in the box. Like I said, I just don't know how, if you make jewelry or even if you're a crafter, how you can live without this, because it is just a little over $22 a month. If you're in the continental United States, you get free shipping and more bonuses on your insert that comes in the box every month. On the other side of this is a code that you can go onto the sister website and type it in and get 30% off your order over and over again for the whole month, as much as you want to use it. And if that isn't enough, I have a discount code. So if you tap more under this video, my description box will open and my discount code will be there. And so if you're new to Bargain Bead Box or the sister website, Bead Box Bargains, you can use my code and get that discount on top of how good this already is. So it's a really, really good value. It's very easy to be enthusiastic about it. Okay, I am going to make a stack of bracelets, and I really want to do an earring blitz because there are several things in here that I just want for earrings. So I'm not sure what I'll get done as far as projects, but I'm going to try to go through the unboxing and really give you a good look, but do it in a little bit speedy manner. So item number 1 is one of my loves in the box. I'm going to show you the back side first. Isn't that stunning? This is a 13 by 15 millimeter blue spot jasper and brass teardrop pendant. It has prongs. It's set under this filigree sort of a cap. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. You really, with the chain that's in the box, you could string the chain through this, use the clasp that's in the box, and have a necklace in, 5 minutes. It's a beautiful necklace, so it's really great. So this is one of the things that I really want a pair of earrings out of. I just love this. This is white chalcedony that's dyed and in the shape of a starfish in this coral pink. And there are 2 pieces here, 13 by 14 millimeters. So absolutely the perfect size for earrings. And I really want a pair of earrings out of this. I haven't really designed them yet, but sometimes when something is this cute and it's two-sided and dimensional, don't overthink it. Put some ear wires on it and, summer earrings. Again, in 5 minutes, a gorgeous little pair of a piece of jewelry. And then this is another one of my loves. Now, I just ordered this little octopus in orange from the sister website, Bead Box Bargains. Let me see if I still, I do have it here. I made a pendant. I'm going to just set him down and show you the orange one because the sister website to Bargain Bead Box is so great. This is my pendant that I did with the little orange octopus that I got from the website. Isn't he so cute? I absolutely love lamp work. So I am thrilled to get this, and he's going to go on one of my bracelets. He's just absolutely adorable. I mean, so sweet. And then there is a very long strand. This is an 8 millimeter 15-inch strand of blue spot jasper, just round beads. They have their gemstones, so they're cool to this touch, and they have a beautiful weight to them and a lot of gorgeous natural color variations, which I just love. So this is one of my favorite things in the box because I am crazy about disc-shaped beads. For me, there's a geometry and just a beautiful shape you get in stacking disc-shaped beads. So these are sodalite rondelles. They are 4 by 2 millimeters, so I absolutely love the size of them. Very sweet, and there's 7 inches here. So this is definitely going in at least one of my bracelets, but I'm going to try to stretch this strand out and get it into 2 bracelets. I have cut my strand of the banded agate. This is so gorgeous. These are 10mm beads, and since I've cut the strand, I'm going to just hold it up to the camera. You can see all the bands and all the beautiful color variations in this, and this was 7 inches, and beautifully, these are dyed and heated, so they will keep this color and not fade, and I just absolutely love them. It's such a pretty bead, just so lovely. I mean, this has it really matches my mood right now. I've just returned from a beach holiday, and it just really matches my mood. The color palette and the beads. I'm just so excited to start working with this box. So this is number 7 in our list, and it is a 7-inch strand of 6mm peach moonstone, and it is just such a pretty color. There are so many seashells on the beach that are in this color, and I've just been collecting seashells for a few days, like in a row, and I have a couple things here that I just picked up off the beach, and just look at the colorway. It's so natural and so oceanic. I mean, I just absolutely love that this little strand is in the box. And then we got a set, number 8, of 10mm blue spot jasper melon beads. Aren't they gorgeous? So they have this beautiful cut all the way around, almost looks like a lantern. So with some fancy bead caps and stacking, you could even make some little lantern shaped items with those. And then these are synthetic, but they are wonderful. Look at this rich coral color. These are coral carved shell beads, but I just absolutely love that pop of color. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you know, they're very lightweight, so the opposite of the weight of gemstones, sometimes this is really perfect for summer jewelry because, you know, it's so hot and lighter jewelry is more comfortable. That is just gorgeous. And then this is another favorite of mine in the box. These are the prettiest glass fish I think I've ever seen. They have this beautiful shimmer, almost the way fishies look when they're swimming under the water, and I just love them. They're going to go in a couple of my bracelets. And then I absolutely love this. You always need smaller beads for spacers or making smaller scale of jewelry. So this is a 4x3mm crystal faceted rondelle, and it's in a matte pink champagne, and there is 15 inches here. So I love this. And you know what I love about Bargain Bead Box is a lot of times there are extras of almost everything on the sister website, Bead Box Bargain. So if you really love something, you can use your 30% and go back on that website and buy more. And so this is something that I would definitely get another strand of. It's just really perfect. This is like a really soft neutral pink, and this looks fabulous with pearls. You can make it look oceanic. You can make it look, you can put it with blacks and, you know, heavier neutrals. Like, it's just a really good all-purpose wonderful bead to have. So I think I want more of that one. And then look at this, you guys. These are faceted rondelle crystal beads, and it's called Steel Blue Shimmer. It is so beautiful. They are not sharp, even though they're faceted crystals. They have a really nice smooth feel to them. There's 15 inches here, and I absolutely love the way that looks with the sodalite beads. I just think that is beautiful. And I think that they might end up together in one of my bracelets. I just really love those. And then item number 13 is an 8mm faceted crystal bead. And what is this one called? It's called, I can't read, my little tag is like smudged, so I can't read it to tell you the color, but you can see the AB finish on it. And again, it's in that beautiful like orangey color that you naturally find in a lot of seashells and things on the ocean floor. I love them. And then this is one of, actually, two of my favorite sea life animals are here. I love seahorses and I loved sea turtles, and I actually saw the sea turtle nests on Cocoa Beach on my little holiday just yesterday, and it was just so exciting for me. I really love sea turtles, but this is the other thing, I really want a pair of earrings out of these, and look how cool these are. They are two-sided. So as earrings, if you're like me and you like to mirror your earrings, you have the seahorse embossed on both sides. So you can make the seahorse like looking toward you, or you can have his make them on your ear wires so he's looking away from you. And if you use these as charms, no matter how they spin around, they're dimensional and beautiful on both sides. And the sea turtle is also dimensional. He looks the way a turtle would look on the bottom side, and there's so much detail. These are quite small, but like you can see his little tail and his little feet and, you know, his shell. I mean, they're just, these charms are absolutely amazing. I just love them. So again, I may just pop these on some ear wires and just have some really sweet, simple seahorse earrings. And there's a good quantity here to do earrings and charms and really whatever you want to do. And then I love this. Okay, I know I'm saying that I love everything, but I do love everything. And you know, a bargain bead box is that way for me. I almost always love everything. And occasionally, if I'll get like a color story that isn't my favorite, there is always at least half of it that I will do something else with. So it is just such a fabulous deal, and it sparks so much creativity. But look at these filigree connectors. They are so beautiful, and these are wonderful to string them together. You can do them this way and make an earring finding out of them. Just absolutely wonderful. We got 4 of these oval connectors, and that's going to be one of my bracelets, so I'll just give you a heads up. And then I love the little swirly coin beads that are in the box. And the antique copper in this box is quite bright. It's not a dark copper. So if you like to mix silver with things, you could do that. If you like to mix gold, you could do that. Now, I'm going to be using some chain from my stash because I need a more open chain than what came in the box. And this is my antique copper chain, and it matches perfectly. But this is antique brass wire in 20 gauge. And so you can alternate, like pull out what you have. The antique brass and the antique copper are quite similar finishes, and usually you can mix them almost seamlessly and they look fabulous together. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But I absolutely love these as an addition to the box. They're little spacer beads, but you can also turn them into charms. And for me, they just remind me of the swirly tops of seashells that I pick up on the beach. So I love them with the sea turtle and the seahorse. I just think they're gorgeous. It's just, this box is so beautifully curated, well thought out, and comprehensive. You just can't go wrong. And then look at the gorgeous bead caps that are in the box. These are 8mm swirl bead caps. Focus camera, there it goes. Look at that, they're beautiful. And I don't have a lot of copper bead caps, so I love getting those for my stash. And then we got a stunning chain in the box. Now this will not be good if you want to do extender chain because there's really no connections on it, which is why I'm using something from my stash. But this is steel Lumachina jewelry chain, and we got 1 meter here, and it just feels so good. It's so slinky and textural and just absolutely beautiful. Again, I'm going to go back to item number 1. If you want to do a necklace in 5 minutes, you can put this pendant on this chain and you have an elegant, beautiful necklace that looks like you purchased it like in a beach boutique for a lot more money than what this entire box is costing. So it's just really, not only beautiful, but really budget friendly. And then I order these quite often from Bead Box Bargains. I love their antique copper magnetic clasp. There's a set of 2 here, and they are just really great. They're really strong magnets, and I use them a lot. So I was thrilled to get 2 of those. And then the bonus items that we got this month are head pins and ear wires in the matching metal. And I just couldn't be more excited about this box. So I'm just going to show you quickly. I always go into my stash and pull in some things to personalize my boxes and make my designs just a little bit unique to me. So I've already shown you that one of my bracelets is going to be getting this extender chain. And then I have some antique copper spacer beads, little Tibetan spacer beads in 2 different shapes, and they may or may not make their way in. I'll just set those off to the side until I set up for my bracelet. And then this is again where I was saying these are 80 seed beads. These are Preciosa seed beads, and the colorway on this is called bronze, but that is so very copper looking to me. Like anything in the box that's copper, I mean, it matches perfectly. So I love having some seed beads to work with. And then I found these really cool kind of double, they look like a little barbell or a little hourglass, little copper spacers. I don't know if I'll use them, but I love them. They're a really cool shape. And like I said, just a little something different to add in to personalize. So I have those out here. So let me just tidy up a little bit, and I'll keep out the things that I know are going in my bracelets, my octopus, my little fish. So let me get this done quickly and I'll be right back. So when a box is this good, the projects, as you can see, they just unfold effortlessly. Look at these champagne pink, what were these rondelles? Crystal rondelles in a matte champagne pink. Oh my goodness. When I cut them off the strand, they were even more beautiful. So those have gone into my project. And then I sorted through my gorgeous banded agate for my one bracelet. Look at this bead, you guys. It has almost looks like lamp work. That's what I thought when I picked it up, and I love lamp work. It has these little swirls in it, or like circles that almost look like they were blown into the glass. So I'm going to share the composition of my 3 bracelets with you, but this one has just one banded agate flanked with the gorgeous bead caps that were in the box. And I'll talk to you about the construction or the patterns of my other bracelets, the blocking that I did. But my little octopus, I went into my stash and got a filigree bead cap from a past bargain bead box, and I just think it adds to his cuteness. He looks like he has a little sun hat, like a little wicker hat on, and I used one of the head pins from the box and one of my little add-in spacers, and just, you know, kind of protected him because he's going to be the final drop on my extender chain. I think he'll be okay. I'm not hard on my jewelry, and I really want him where I can play with him. And I think I'm going to name him Oscar the Octopus. I know that's silly, but I also am going to be putting charms on all of my bracelets. So those are out here. And I have gone into my stash. I decided not to use the magnetic clasps that came in the box, but these are toggles from the sister website, Beadbox Bargains. In fact, a few of the things that I'm going to be using are purchases that I made on the sister website. So like I said at the outset, the insert of our box, if you subscribe to the box, it has a 30% off coupon. I shop the website all the time, but you can still shop the website if you're not a subscriber to the box. You just don't get the 30% discount. And I don't know if I remembered to say that, but I've also designed 2 pairs of earrings. I have out here, I'm going to just show you what I selected from the box. These are number 2 crimp tubes for my magical crimping plier. My 2 bracelets are strung on my Softflex Metallics copper color. Oh my goodness, you guys, could that be any more perfect for the color story in this box? And then I already showed you my little bit of chain. That's going to be my extender chain on my one bracelet. And you've already seen these champagne crystals that I'm using. This is what I have left of the Sodalite rondelles. I just love those. And honestly, I think I only used 3 of the peach moonstone. And then you'll see like this little shell spacer bead is also a purchase from the Beadbox Bargains website. It's the sister website. Now, I did not take the time to check and see if like this is still available on the website and the toggles, but they they have things constantly coming in, some things going out. So it's just really a great resource for jewelry designers. The other thing is, I told you, I just wanted something so simple with these gorgeous chalcedony starfish charms. I love the coral pink with the copper, and this ear wire is also from Bead Box Bargains. I've been saving them for something special, and I felt like this looked like a tropical flower. I think it's almost the exact same shape as the starfish, so I absolutely love this very simple pair of earrings. I considered doing a seed bead ring and all, but honestly, I just love the bright copper jump ring that I made with my soft flex wire. And I just love it. And so we're going to put one of those together. And then, as I told you, I really want a pair of seahorse earrings. And I just decided to also do super simple. I use the copper ear wires from the box, a little stack of seed beads and the sodalite discs, and just dangled a seahorse from the bottom. And like for me, that is just fast, fun, joyous summer jewelry. So we're gonna put one of those together, and I think that is just about everything. I showed you my seed beads that I'll be using. So what should we start with? Let's do the earrings. They're super fast. This is literally a connecting project, and what makes them so gorgeous are these ear wires that I found on the sister website. And it is a simple matter, like literally if you can open and close a jump ring, you can make these earrings in what, 10 seconds. So I'm just gonna open this jump ring and put it through the hole in the top of the little starfish. And then before I close it, I'm going to add my ear wire. Let me choose they're a little bit irregular. The finish on them. So I am choosing which side I want to be facing forward. They're not identical because they are natural elements, but that's okay with me. I love it. I love the natural elements from an oceanic theme. I just want to make sure that my jump ring is closed really well because it's like the only metal just about on this piece, and it will show if it's slightly open. So I fiddle a little bit, but look how fast and simple, and look at that gorgeous pair of earrings. I love them. I absolutely love them. That is the kind of thing that I will wear all summer long. And then I used my one-step looper for my little stack of beads here. So I just pulled some scrap wire from my wire bag, and I'm going to start with my smallest on earrings. I'll use my smallest size of my one-step looper, and I've done a million tutorials or explanations on this, but in fact, I think this is a 22 gauge piece of wire that got in my 20 gauge. It is. I'm not going to use that. This is what was left in my wire scrap bag, and so I'm just going to take a little piece of it, and I'll do a fast tutorial if you have the one-step looper and you're not having success with it, or if you would like to get one. They are amazing. I have a serious problem, especially in my right hand, but actually both hands, and I make so much jewelry, and the twisting can really flare up a problem for me, and so I use this as much as possible. It really saves my hand, but you also get really perfect loops if you use the tool correctly. So when there's no beads on, you go under this mandrel, and you don't need to push your wire through the guide hole in the back of the tool because the tool makes a fresh cut here, so you would just be wasting that wire. All you need to do is make sure the wire is just a little bit past the back jaw, and then gently close so that you can see what you're doing. And I am making sure that my wire is against this back plate, because if your wire is out here like that, I don't know if you can see, the wire's dark and the tool is dark, but that will give you a misshapen loop. You can fix it with your pliers, but you get better loops if you make sure you have pushed your wire against this back plate. And then you go slowly, don't pop it closed. Close the tool. There's the fresh cut that it makes, so you can skip that step with your cutters. Wire workers always do a nice fresh cut. And then, I'm maintaining control here. Just slowly close the tool. My loop is now made, but obviously it's not centered on you know, the wire is not centered on the loop the way we would like it to be. I'm using the tool now as a plier, and I'm going to use my nylon jaw pliers and start with a really nice straight piece of wire, pull it down so that I can see that that loop is now centered on that wire. And when I take it away, I have a perfect loop. Bella Cat, you cannot go outside and bring in the lizards. No, honey. It's early morning now, and the lizards are all running around on the patio, and my little cat just wants to go get them, and I hear her talking in the background. Okay, so very simply, I just did a little stack starting with one of the disc beads and then one of my seed beads that I'm using as a spacer and a disc bead, and just alternating like that. So that gives me an odd number. To the design principle, odd numbers can be very pleasing in design. So that gives me 3 discs and 2 seed beads. And really and truly, it's that simple. I'm just making a little component for my earring. On this project, I'm going to have my loops going in the same direction. So my opening of my loop is here. Now I'm going to this time use the guide hole in the tool because there are beads. Push the beads right up to the front jaw of the plier and make sure that I'm against the back plate. Now, you know, your bead shape sometimes can affect how this tool works. For me, it's totally okay because I always put my pliers to every loop to work harden and tidy things up. But I'm just gently closing the tool, so it's like holding on to my piece here. And now as I close and watch it make the cut, I can see that there's no pressure being put on my beads. And so it made a nice fresh cut. Actually, there's a whole nother component in that piece of wire, so I'll put it aside. And now it's making the loop, but once again, the loop is not centered. So before I close the tool all the way, I'm going to pull my stack of beads down as I close, making sure I'm not damaging my beads. And then at this point, if loops became misaligned in the process, you can tidy them up, but it is pretty perfect. And I have this gorgeous, gorgeous earring component. And I did this very slowly. It doesn't take that much time. Once you get used to it, you can do a whole beaded chain with that tool super fast. So let's see, ear wire and seahorse. Very simply, I'm going to open one of the loops and put my seahorse on. And then the only thing to pay attention to really on this super simple earring is if you want your seahorses to be going in the same direction, because once I put the ear wire on, that's going to determine. So you can attach this to the ear wire with the seahorses going in the same direction, or you can have them mirroring each other. If you do that, then you can wear them where the seahorses are looking at your face or looking away from you, and that's what I'm going to do. I like mirroring my earrings. It's not wrong to not mirror them, but I just really like doing it. So that's going to be the front. I'm going to attach my ear wire, and here's where I said I like to put my pliers to every loop. So I'm just going to come in here and just work harden a little bit. They're earrings, so those loops don't get a lot of stress. But 2 super fast pair of earrings. Like, you know, if I were not talking and explaining and showing you the tool, I would have had these both done in under a minute. And they're stunning. Like if you were on the beach and popped into a little beachside boutique, this is what you would see there, and you would pay a lot more than what you pay for this whole box just for one pair of earrings. So for me, that is super exciting. I just don't know how anybody lives without bargain bead box. And your jewelry just looks so amazing when your supplies are that beautiful. So let's jump into my bracelet. I'm going to do another demo with the one-step looper because that's what I used to make this little beaded chain using the filigree components. But this time I used the 2 1/4 millimeter, and the reason I did that is the loops were a little bit bigger, and when you're making a beaded chain where you're not going to connect your sections with jump rings, it gives you a more fluid chain because the holes are a little bit bigger, so your chain doesn't get kinked. So I'm going to just take, no, I'm back at that little 22 gauge piece of wire that jumped into my scrap bag. I'm going to do that exact same thing, only this time with a little bit larger loop. Okay, and now I'm going to pop on one of these swirly little beads, and it's going to become a component, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, whether it's a metal bead or no matter what kind of a bead it is. It's really the same thing. Now, you'll see that sometimes when you have an unusual shape like this coin shape bead, you may not be able to close your tool all the way. If you see that you're putting a lot of pressure on your bead, just stop and finish with your pliers. You know, that would be my advice. I'm going to open these loops anyway to make my attachments, so it is totally fine that the tool didn't close it all the way. Even if it did, I would still have to open it. So like for me, I'm okay when that happens. And then again, I get a chance to work harden, and I have to come to this side and do the same thing, open it and attach it. These components look the same on both sides, so that is really nice for turning them into kind of a beaded chain bracelet, because no matter which way I pick the piece up, it's the same on both sides. And also with my lace, my banded agate bead, oh my gosh, every time I look at that bead, it's hard to imagine it's not a lampwork bead. I just so love it. Okay, I'm going to bring in my beautiful solid brass. This is copper plated and e-coated for anti-tarnish. This is one of my favorite chains. I have this in a few colors from Purity Beads. I'll put a link in the description box. This little oval link is embossed, kind of a lacy embossing on both sides, and it's very lightweight, and the links are so open. It's beautiful. I've made so much jewelry from it, but it also makes a fabulous extender chain because of the large openings. If you don't have a beautiful chain like this, but you like this design, you can definitely connect some jump rings and create an extender chain. So like I've done that on this bracelet. I just needed a little bit of extra length, so I connected 3 diamond cut jump rings, and it gave me like a little bit of an extender chain. So that's plan B if you don't have a scrap of a pretty chain that you like. So I'm just going to check my length here and kind of determine how many links I want for an extender chain, and I'm going to be very not scientific about it. I'd like to do an odd number: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to cut the 10th one. So another little trick, if you have beautiful chain but the links are solid, is cut them, and especially the oval ones, on the side. I'm going to try to get into one of the embossed sections and snip it very carefully, and then I'm going to open it like a jump ring. And I have a whole container of these little links that I have removed, because now this is just a beautiful fancy oval embossed jump ring. So I do not waste anything, especially when your chain is such beautiful quality. And then I am going to just do some connecting here. I'm going to use these really small 4mm copper jump rings and just connect. And I have a copper hiding in here. I have a copper lobster claw clasp, and so I just need to decide which end I want my clasp on and which end I want my chain on. And I think I'm going to do my chain down here, and just very simply I'm going to open these little jump rings and add my chain. Sometimes I will do double jump rings if there's space in the openings, just for architectural, like just, you know, architectural look. It adds a little security too, but I don't know if this link will accommodate 2 jump rings. So I'm going to make sure it's closed really well. I think 1 is going to work on this. And then I'm going to take my little octopus, and he will get 2 jump rings because the simple loop that I put at the top of him is large enough, and my link is large enough. And I do want to be careful with him because he is lamp work. So I do want to be careful that he doesn't get hurt, but he's so precious. And I really wanted to put him where I could see him and fiddle with him. And, you know, if you're a fidgeter with your jewelry, I mean, look at him. He's so gorgeous. Let me check my length before I add my lobster claw clasp. I'm going to cut my links. I was a little bit too generous with my links, but to be honest, I actually wanted another little extender chain because I'm going to have a 3 bracelet stack here, but I love these sodalite discs and I wanted to do just another plain, a more plain bracelet, just to layer with anything and everything if I want to. So I'm going to put that right into another bracelet. So I'm going to close this really well, and then I am simply going to add a second jump ring to that connection. So just through my simple loop and then through my bottom link on my chain. Just like that, just wiggle it in there. So just like that, so that my jump rings sit beside each other. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. And I really do love the double jump rings. That is so pretty. So the way I use my extender chains is lay that part over my wrist, and then I can bring my lobster claw around without needing to hold on and clasp, and my little octopus is dangling. But I wanted to put a seahorse and a sea turtle charm hanging from this bracelet, I think. Is that going to be too much? I was thinking to do the sea turtle on one side and the seahorse on the other side, and just have a little charm, you know, kind of like a charm bracelet, but only on the extender chain. Oh my goodness, I love this bracelet so much. I love these sweet little charms. I mean, they're just beautiful in their own right. So I just attach them with those little jump rings, and they hang perfectly above my octopus, and I just love it. I mean, this is so elegant. This is beach chic. This is summer chic jewelry. I'm crazy about it. I was thinking I would layer them, but I don't know. This bracelet is so stunning. So anyway, I'm going to jump to my next ones, and I'm just going to share with you the composition of these pieces. It's a block on this one of 3 of the he-she discs, or the rondelle beads, with a seed bead in between each one, and then I just put a swirl and 1 fish, and then 1 of those seashell beads, and then a little block of the blue, like stormy blue crystals, separated by the seed bead, and a copper toggle. It's super simple. I did a magical crimped number 2 crimp tube, so it just blends right in. And as you guys have heard me say a million times, with my soft flex wire, I don't feel the need to use a wire guard or, you know, a piece of French wire or seed beads, but you can. If the exposed wire bugs you, then by all means cover it. But when your wire is this metallic copper and it's so fluid and it matches, I mean, look at this wire with the findings in the box. It doesn't get any better than that. So I'm letting mine just hang out and show and be part of the design. So I've already put a jump ring on my toggle clasp, and I'm going to pop on a number 2 copper crimp tube and let it drop down to my beads, and put my wire through and back through the crimp tube, and sometimes it will go through a crystal and sometimes even a seed bead. These 11-0 seed beads kind of wants to. Yep, I got it down. That makes me so happy when I can feed my wire back down through a couple of beads and I'm trimming away from my closure. It just looks really nice. And with the magical crimping plier, a non-jewelry maker has absolutely no idea how this piece is held together, because they can't see, you know, they can't, the magical crimped bead looks like a bead. I mean, it looks like a seed bead. It doesn't look like it's doing a function. And then when they can't see the end of the wire because it's hidden amongst the beads, it's really magical, like how this piece is held together. Here to be too small, because then my toggle will not be fluid. And I don't want my bracelet to be too tight or rigid, and you especially have to concern yourself with that when you have disc beads or cube beads, because they butt up against each other. So I've spaced them out a little bit so that I can get a nice fluid bracelet, but you know, I want to make sure that I don't have a weird gap either. So it's a good idea to do this with your bracelet in a circle if you want it to be a nice soft bracelet that, you know, flows around the body. Just give this a little tug here. But you can always add a jump ring, and on the toggle end add a second jump ring if you find your bracelet is hard to clasp, because that give or that looseness makes you really able to turn your T-bar sideways and pull it through the loop a little bit more easily. So a lot of times I'll go back and add a jump ring on my clasp if my bracelet seems a little bit difficult for me to connect. But I'm going to go ahead and crimp it with the magical crimping plier, and then I will try it on and, you know, see if I need to do that. So I'm just going to fit my crimp tube in the divot perfectly in the center, close it, and I've turned the tube into a little square with 4 pinched corners. And now this is really important to fit it in the divot squarely in the center, but in the opposite direction. I can feel that it's in there, and now I can close again. And now I'm just going to maintain the position of the crimp tube in that divot and just go around opening and closing a few times. And I can feel that I've already turned it into a bead. So when I take the tool away, I have this little tiny copper bead. Like I said, a non-jewelry maker has no idea how this piece is held together. I'm going to come right here and trim as closely as I can so that you just don't see where the bracelet starts and stops. Oh wow, that is a gorgeous bracelet. It's so sweet. It's so elegant summer. And I really could layer it with the other one. Now, you guys who have been here before, you know that this is going in my scrap bag because I love to make beaded rings for different designs, and that's the perfect amount, so I don't waste anything. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Let me just share quickly the design with you. On this one, I decided to change up my rondelles and put a seed bead in between each one. And those beautiful champagne matte crystals are another little block. And then I have my fishies kissing each other. And I just used one of those cool spacers that I found. 3 peach moonstone, and I decided to add in my filigree kind of lacy bead caps on this one as well. And that one is pretty much done. And I'll tell you, the method to my madness was to alternate. So what I'm going to do is put, if I want to wear these together, let me get up to the camera. Or maybe it's better if they stay laying flat. I've also made a charm there, but if I want to wear them together, you can see that my one fish motif or focal section is offset on this one, and it's slightly offset on this one, and so they stack beautifully. They really look like a set, you know. I just love the way it looks. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I have 2 more number 2 crimp tubes. I'm going to come to this end and feed on my crimp tube and my my round part of my toggle and loop it back through the crimp tube and just do the same thing with my magical crimping plier. Get my loop just as I want it, so everything's moving freely, and same thing. You could also do a fold over crimp here if you prefer that method. You can flat crimp too. But this is quite secure and it looks so professional. Like it really has a fine jewelry look to it. Beautiful. I do not know if the holes on these crystals will accommodate 2 strands of my bead stringing wire, but I'm going to try. I always try. It just looks so nice. Oh yeah, look at that. That's wonderful. It just looks so nice if your cut end is down away from your clasp. And it should go through the seed beads. That makes me so happy, because when my bracelet is done, it's just so clean and professional looking. Okay, I am ready for the charms on these beauties. I'm going to put a sea turtle on this one, and then I took one of these spacer beads that looks like a seashell, and one of my pink champagne crystals, and one of the rondelles, they Sodalite rondelles, and so that way, like, it's a coordinating set, but I'm going to put this on the bracelet that does not have that in the stringing pattern, and put my turtle on that one. So let me just grab a couple more jump rings here, and these are quite small. I'm going to try it. I normally like to attach my charms around the circumference of my piece so that the charm flows around 360 degrees. Let me show you what I mean. Instead of hooking this through another jump ring or through the loop, I'm going to put this around the whole circumference. Can you see what I did? And now I'll put my charm on and close it, and then I'll show you if you haven't seen my trick before. I do it most of the time. Like, I wasn't able to do it on the charms on this bracelet because the links are too large to go around, but wherever possible I do it that way. And the reason is, once your charm is attached, it goes around 360 degrees. So whether I put my bracelet on this way or whether I put it on this way, your charms flow around and they never get kinked. It's just a nice little trick for attaching. And you know, so like, no matter what you do with your bracelet, that charm is never stuck. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the little sea turtle on this one. Let me clean up a little bit. I absolutely love, love, love my beautiful set of bracelets and my pairs of earrings. This is 5 fast, easy projects with basic jewelry skills and with such beautiful supplies and a box that's curated this perfectly. It's effortless. You know, I started out literally to make one bracelet, but this is just too beautiful to just make one bracelet. And when I paused to clean up, you know, I just kept going. I thought, oh, and this, and this, and this. And so this box just really sparks creativity. This is so summer friendly, so denim friendly. It's whimsical but elegant at the same time. I couldn't be more thrilled with the box or with my pieces. So don't forget to check the description box. My discount code will be typed there, links to my favorite tools. I started a new little section in my description boxes of my current favorite findings, because I do tend to use the same things over and over again. And you know, if you subscribe to Bargain Bead Box, use my code. It helps out my channel, but you'll also get that 30% code. And I did not check again to see like what ear wires and things are available at this time, but they always have new things. They post new things to the website regularly, like weekly. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody's having a great summer, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, friends.